Ryan podcast. You gotta be quiet, buddy. Good Tuesday evening. Welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies podcast. This is the Tuesday Night Flight. That gentleman on to the right, left of me is the Midnight Rider. I'm the boss, BJ. Good evening to all. Hope your week is starting off well. Midnight Rider, how you doing, man?
Oh man, long week already, man. Monday was a killer. So I don't know. Today was a little reprieve. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Because we got our end of the month stuff that we do. And it's always crazy.
The cold today made it a long day.
Oh man. Well, I'm not a big coat person because I hate when I get in the car and the heat's on, I start sweating or whatever. So I got like this Columbia that sits in my trunk for days like this. Whenever I see a 3, the Columbia comes out the trunk.
So, yeah. Oh man. All right, I gotta catch up. I'm delayed.
You're good right now.
All right, I'm delayed on my end. So
got you.
Yeah. A little technical difficulties, and I wouldn't be the show if it wasn't technical difficulties around. So we are going to recap week number 12. Then we're going to go into the top 6 in the AP poll, and then we're going to finish out the show with we'll just touch on the Wizards and Jordan Poole. Just touch on that situation. We're going to touch it and then run. We'll touch it, run before it explodes. So the first game up, Buffalo Bills go down in overtime to the Philadelphia Eagles, 37-34. Midnight Rider, I have listened to Buffalo Radio, Bills Mafia groups, Buffalo Fanatics, you name it. I've listened to everybody because I was very, very upset Sunday afternoon. I thought that the referee, and I'm not making excuses, but I will say 2 things. The refereeing was absolutely atrocious, to say the least. And I don't want to say they got exposed, but I think Philly was let off the hook, to say it easily. And I think the fans know it too, because that should have been, it was so many opportunities for Buffalo to put that game away. The first, was it the second or third drive, the James Cook drop TD pass. And then, of course, in overtime, the miscommunication between Gabe Davis and Josh Allen, that was a touchdown. If it's the ball's right or whoever was wrong. I'm going to let you go, Star, because you know I'm going to go on a 19-minute rant, and I don't want to do that. But let me give somebody their flowers real quick. Joe Brady, the interim offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I complain, and not just with the Bills. I complain with all the teams. But to see how he put those drives together, the play calling to set things up, not force-feeding Stephon Diggs, making Josh Allen, hey, take the game, James Cook. I've said the last 2 weeks, James Cook is on a pace to probably be better than his brother if he gets a long enough shot. The kid is explosive. The kid can hit the holes. He's gone. He has that little pizzazz, and that's what the Bills have been missing. Midnight Rider, I'm gonna throw it to you. I'm throwing it to you. There was a drive with Buffalo. I haven't seen this in the Josh Allen era. They took their 2-3 running backs and they punched Philly in the mouth, up the field, up the gut. And I was in amazement. I'm like, this team is running the ball. And I think to a certain degree, I don't want to say it's messing them up because they were a passing team. But now you have this element where you can run the ball, and it's like, well, what do we do? Do we pass? Do we run? Do we run through the RPO with Josh? And it's a good problem to have. A lot of teams don't have this problem. But that offense on the field Sunday, even though they lost, I think, I teased Commander fans with the 9-10 sacks and waiting for the first thing since the 1970 merge. Let me read you something on Buffalo. The Bills are the 40th team since 1970 merger to have 500 yards, 10 third down conversion, and a positive turnover margin in a game. They are the first team to lose in that scenario. Teams were 39-0 before 425 on Sunday. Midnight Rider, take it away before I get out of hand here. Just give me your thoughts on that game and what you saw.
I mean, I think I saw everything that you saw. It was real easy for me. I think the one thing I do like is number 10 for Buffalo.
Shakir.
Yeah. I know I have him on two of my fantasy teams, but the other reason I like him is just because I feel like he opens up the offense for everybody else. He helps you get into certain scenarios where you can either put Diggs in the slot and you can move him around a lot more, and then you can stack those guys. And I also like the emergence of Kincaid. Like, I think your offense is getting to the point, like it's at that top of the roller coaster where like another week or so, it should be just going downhill and flying through the things. You just got to hope that the injuries to Cleveland and Cincinnati's quarterbacks, that clears out two contenders. Pittsburgh's going to be there. Let's see who's in the South. The South, you might get the problem is going to be Indianapolis or Houston, because they both have terrible schedules down the stretch in terms of easy games. So they could be a hindrance for you getting into the playoffs. But I think you're a playoff team, and just it's not going to be the way you want to get there, but you're going to get there.
I said that they had to go the stretch with the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Cowboys. They had to go 3-1 in that stretch, and they left themselves now to have to win 3 straight games, have to beat the Patriots, and absolutely last game of the season they have to run the table now. And I don't want to be a optimistic guy because this is my squad, but that offense that came on the field Sunday. The problem is Sean McDermott, and I've said it before, the lack of playmakers on defense. And I think right now, Von Miller, nothing personal, but he's just absolutely non-existent. The one guy that you need to close a game out, make a play, make Jalen Hurts do something drastic. He just can't do anything right now. And I don't know if it's still, I'm sure part of it's still him trying to get his winning footing back, but how much of it did the switch flip and it's over for Von Miller? Like, I don't want to be like that, but it just when he's on the field, it's just he's a non-factor. He's an absolute non-factor. He's not even close to the quarterback.
I haven't seen that burst yet. I haven't seen him take the edge on somebody and just run the loop. And normally, that's what he's known for. So I totally agree with you on that. I know it's something. Maybe it's still the leg. Maybe we're still waiting with that growing pain from that. But the other thing is, too, your defense is taking a toll. Like, injuries are taking a toll on your defense.
Absolutely.
So that's the other thing. Milano being gone hurts. Your top 2 corners are gone. So, yeah. I think right now you're just fighting a good fight.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Terrell Bernard has been outstanding. It makes nobody remembers Terrell Edmonds. Absolutely nobody. He left for free agency, but nobody remembers him. It's like good riddance. And I'm not trying to be funny with that, but the Terrell Bernard has been playing lights out. And they just did. If you notice the overtime games they've lost, this one, the one to the Chiefs, has been a defensive collapse where they cannot get to the quarterback or make a play somewhere to get off the field. And I think that's going to come back and haunt them if they do run the table or try to. I think when they get to Miami, that's going to haunt them somewhere along this where they need to win all these games. you might see the emergence of the Buffalo Bill offense we saw 2 seasons ago. And it's just the defense. It's just like at this point, Russo and Espinoza, let them guys run. Let them run. Let them try to do what they do and try to figure some stuff out. But I will say this. Somebody said something in one of the Buffalo groups, and I just sat there and it kind of, how you sit back and be like, damn, he's right. If you fire Sean McDermott, who's better than Sean McDermott out there right now to take this team over? Who's a better, besides going to get a coordinator that isn't proven? Sean Payton's gone. That was a hot ticket. I mean, who wouldn't want the Buffalo job? You get in a new stadium in a couple years. You got, I think, one of the top GMs in the league. And let me get you, and if the big guy KG is watching this, you and Midnight Ride, I'm gonna get y'all. Y'all been letting me call this boy Rasul Butler. The cornerback is Rasul. I forgot his name already. The Butler is the basketball player.
Oh, dog, you got me because I was just as convinced. You said it so convincingly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Now I forgot his name. I feel bad.
Rasul
Douglas, yes. He's he's not enough because we're gonna go to the next game. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, they're just absolutely awful. I'm sorry. Their window for them to help win the Super Bowl was the divisional 13-second game.
Right.
That was, and I'm not talking about Josh Allen. I'm talking about Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer. That they had to go that year. These guys, they decline, and it's both of them. It's just amazing to watch them not be in position when 2 seasons ago Micah Hyde was all over the field vying for top 5 safety in the league, and then now it's to like, did you pick this guy up off the street? Like, start DeMar Hamlin. That's where it's like, do something. But anyway, that's the.
Let me ask you this, because I think those two guys their play is more a byproduct of you not having the corners. So they're asking them to do a little bit more than they normally do. And you can always correct me if I'm wrong on this.
I think that's more so for Poyer than Hyde.
Okay.
I think Poyer's a more physical guy. Hyde's more of a roamer, but he can they both are good tacklers. Hyde he could cover the field. It's just not there. It was a couple plays on that last drive where they're just standing looking at each other. They're nowhere, like, it's like they've lost their football awareness. It's like the Space Jam, the monsters took the energy. Right. That's what it looks like. There was one play in particular where the ball's just floating, and I can't remember what play it was, but it was right. I don't know if AJ Brown caught it, but it was right where the field goal line was on the screen. And then everybody in the Buffalo side is just like this. Nobody's running to the ball. The ball's just floating. Because I let you know how you see it leave the quarterback hand slow, like, oh, that's a grabber.
Right.
And the Eagles guy is like this, and the Bills guys are like this. Like, when is that coming down?
Right.
And that's they're gonna have to score 30 a game to win. It's just they're gonna have to score 30 a game to win. They're gonna have to put the defense in a position where they can play a little bit, because I don't know if you noticed, Midnight Rider, they were blitzing 7 or 8 on Buffalo side and wasn't touching Jalen Hurts. Right. That's worrisome. But moving on.
Vegas, before we get out of here, the Vegas side of this, the line was a push because it was Eagles in 3. Mm-hmm. 48.5, we definitely went over that. Mm-hmm. And then the Eagles won outright. So everybody on the list had Eagles in the over. And then you get a push because I think everybody took the Eagles in the spread. So that's a push for the 3 of us.
10-4.
Your mic just went out.
The Bills are off next week. The Eagles play. Who do the Eagles play? I don't have it in front of me. My phone is having little issues. I'll tell you about that later.
Hold on, what you trying to do?
I was trying to see
The Eagles have the 49ers next week.
Yeah, 49ers. Okay.
And then the Bills, you guys on
Bills
the
are off. The Bills are off.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. On to the next game. The Baltimore Ravens 20 and the Los Angeles Chargers 10.
So on the Vegas side, you swept this category. You had Ravens, you had the under, and you had the Ravens with the spread. I went 2 for 1 because I had Ravens in the cover. Only thing I had was the over. I thought this game was going to be a little bit more explosive. And then KG had the over because he had the Chargers winning. Just to talk about this game, I can't fire Brandon Staley fast enough. Like, I would literally volunteer. Like, if they wanted somebody to take his key card, I'm watching this team. One of my boys is a diehard Chargers fan, and I just feel bad for him because you have all this talent on the field. All these guys on your defense. You got Derwin James, you got Bosa, you got Khalil Mack, and you're just doing nothing with it. And then offensively, your first round pick, Quentin Johnson, the kid out of TCU, to steal a line from Paul, he couldn't. Well, I'm not gonna say that one. Let me get a cleaner one. He couldn't catch a cold if he was in the igloo. I'll say it that way, butt naked. I'll use that one. Here's another one that involves the whorehouse that I can't talk about. But yeah, I mean, I think that's the crazy part, man. It's this game was perfect for Baltimore. I knew they were going to win it, and it was just a great way for them to kind of put themselves in position. Because I think what the Ravens are doing is they're putting themselves in a spot where as long as they can stay healthy, they'll be okay. And they've done enough on the offensive side where they don't have to depend on Mark Andrews. And I think that's one of the best things about them switching coordinators and moving off of the guy they had last year. I can't think of his name now. So that's a good thing as well.
Let's catch up on some of the comments. The big guy KG on location. Man, whatever, man. We got a comment from Twitch and Michelle. Hello to you too. Eric Ball, better than his brother at what? What were we talking about?
I think that's the Cook. I think that's James Cook situation.
Look. I said if he was given time, he looks like he could be better than his brother. I mean, his brother is not even playing, is he?
Yeah, he's in New York, but
I thought he got cut. Oh, no, the other running back got cut on the Jets.
Yeah, Michael Carter got cut. And that's all on Michael Carter too, because there was a couple of situations on the sidelines where he was just being a little extra. I don't know if he was arguing about the quarterback play or what, but yeah, that was definitely a situation where he had to go.
Big guy saying that the Bills got cheated. Paul Cordova coming in. Houston will take the edge, I think, if they don't stumble against Russell. The big guy's coming back. I think he's talking about Von Miller with this. He's coming off a ruptured Achilles. He said, when I said fire Staley, you mocked me. Who mocked you?
Nobody mocked you. Not for firing Staley.
He won his flowers. When you go to Giant, you go to the flower section and you pick out some pretty flowers. Don't get anything you're allergic to, okay? This game, man, it's just, what was the over under for this?
So the over under for Chargers was 48.5.
And I just knew this was going to hit it.
You did it right. You had the under. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. No,
I thought I hit the over.
No, my bad. I messed this up. So you had the Chargers and KG had the Ravens. So KG won all three of his bets. You lost two and had the over. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah,
I got you guys out of order.
Man, look, when I saw that, I just knew this was going to be a, 31-28, 30, I just knew this was going to be over. Just a sloppy football game. Like you said, I don't know why the Chargers are getting what they deserve for firing who they fire on the way to get to Staley. It just this is karma. This is karma, and they're going to be in purgatory for however long. And it's almost fun to watch.
I'm gonna say I agree to disagree with you on the because I think Lynn should have been fired. I think Staley was just not the right person to take over. Because he yeah. But that's gonna be a situation we're gonna have to argue later on because I know that's a bigger argument later on, and I know it's gonna be 2 against 1.
Well, we're gonna go on to the next one. The Kansas City Chiefs 31, the Las Vegas Raiders 17. For the beginning of this game, Midnight Rider, before I throw it to you and get the Vegas on there, they don't have the quarterback, but the Raiders are playing a different ball game. They're competing a little bit. That's all you want to see, because if I'm the GM, I'm like, once we find a quarterback, because they were up, what they 14-0 for a while on the Chiefs, and the Chiefs just kind of did what he did. He said the Midnight Rider is the one who mocked him about firing Staley. So
Staley? No. I think the part you're thinking about, I mocked you because you thought about Anthony Lynn should have had his job. And no, Anthony Lynn should have been fired when he got fired.
All right, well, yeah. Give us the Vegas
side of this.
Yeah, Vegas side of this, please.
All right, so the Vegas side of this was Chiefs minus 9.5, over under 43.5. Now that I can read this the proper way, you had the Chiefs in the over, but you did take the Raiders to cover. So did I. So we both had 2 wins on that, and then we lost the point spread. And then KG, another one where he goes 3-0. He hit KC, he hit the over, and he hit the minus 9.5. My man cleaning up right now. If he was in Vegas,
they'd be escorting him out the casino. Like, hell, we don't know what you did, but take your winnings and don't ever come back.
Yes, sir.
This is just the Chiefs being the Chiefs and overpowering at the end. I commend the Raiders. I think, I would like to see is Antonio Pierce. He's still interim, right?
Yeah,
I'd like to see that too.
So I think he's in a great spot, but I also think he's in a bad spot. The great spot is the Raiders should have given this job 2 years ago to Rick Bisaccia, who was the interim prior to them hiring Josh McDaniels. So I really think this job, if Mark Davis is tired of paying people an exorbitant amount of money, he wants to save, this is the time to save money. And you take either Antonio Pierce or Rick Bisaccia and make them your head coach going forward. Because right now you're paying whatever Josh McDaniels has for the next 4 or 5 years, or 3 years, I should say. So, yeah, that's too much money in coaches, and you don't need to do anything more. But old Floby bowl cut, I don't think he's going to take that advice. So,
big guy KG saying this is an old AFL rivalry. Go in your closet and get your, I forgot what the camera footage is called, but go get that. I know you were there and you taped some of this and show us. Send me the picture. If you buy your phone and you got good signal, send me the picture of you and John Madden you took, and I'll post it on the show. Just if you got good signal. I know you're working with an Android, so that probably won't 8mm. There you go, 8mm Android. It probably won't load to, what is this? This is November. Probably won't get that to January. Football season be almost over, so But yeah, man. Look,
I think the Chiefs are in an interesting spot because they still haven't found their mojo.
They haven't.
And they're still depending on Travis Kelce, for me, a little too much. You've seen flashes with Sky Moore. You've seen a flash here and there with the dude from New York, Tony. They went to University of Florida. Like, you've seen these guys make flashes, but you haven't seen anything consistent. You haven't seen McCole Hartman really get too involved either. So it's kind of one of those things where you're just waiting for one of those things to be consistent so you can take some of that off of Kelsey. And I think we're going to get what they did last year down the stretch. I think they're going to lean a little bit more on, what's his name, Jerick McKinnon. I think they're going to lean on Pacheco. I think they know now that right now they can't depend on his receivers to be consistent enough.
No, they can't.
Basis.
And the crazy thing is, even with them not being able to have a dependable receiving core, it's still scary thinking that you're still not getting the best Chiefs team. And I said that last week when they lost to the Eagles. Like, this is 2 weeks in a row. Eagles fans should be like, like maybe we ought to chill out a little bit. Maybe we ought to back off. But they not. They Eagles fans, so it is what it is. Let's see. Paul Cordova.
But they don't give him the ball. Rashee Rice.
He had 8 for 107.
Okay.
He had 8 for 107, and I'm looking. Valdez Scantling only got one ball, so he should. But I mean, if they can find a combination, they just need one person to step up.
Right, exactly.
They just need one of those receivers to step up. And because Kansas City is finding ways to win, I said that a couple weeks ago, and as long as they stay in the hunt, it's going to be, you're still going to have to go through them. It just is what it is. Especially with Burrow being down now and Buffalo doing what they're doing. You know, I still don't trust Baltimore. I don't know what it is. And Miami, I don't trust Miami either.
No, the last 2 years, Lamar's ankle was given out during the last couple of weeks of the season, and he's been out for either the playoffs or a long stretch. So I can see it for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. What do I have up? Let's take that down. I am running the board, guys, so be patient with me. Next up on the docket, the Cleveland Browns, 12. And the home team, Denver Broncos, 29. Midnight Rider. The Broncos are on a roll, man. Is this another team that I think this is another team where they're not at full stride either, and they got a lot of room for improvement, which is scary for them too. They could be doing. I mean, 29 is cool, but I really think that they might have a little bit more up their sleeve. And it's coming on at the right stretch.
Totally agree with you, man. Totally agree. I think their only issue is can they get Javonte Williams back to the form he was at 2 years ago? If they can get him back in the form, Russ is doing just enough to get you through the game, but he's not killing you. On the Vegas side of this, looks like Broncos were favored by 1.5. Over under was 37. So in this game, you cleaned up the house. You went 3-0 because you had the Broncos, the over, and the Broncos with the 1.5. I went 1-2 because I picked the Broncos, but I missed on the under, and I thought the Browns would cover. And then KG, he missed everything because he had the Browns. So Vegas brought him back in the building. It's kind of like that scene in the casino when the plane stalls out, when the plane don't get started. You brought him back.
Oh man. Real quick, this wasn't a pretty game for Russ. 13-22 for 124. Williams on the ground, 18 carries, 65 yards, no touchdowns. And on the Brown side, it's just a Thompson Robinson, 14-29, 134. Walker, 6-13 for 56. Nothing really going on the ground game. I hate this for Cleveland because they were on the come up.
No, you don't.
They were.
No, you don't.
It seemed like this is like the typical Cleveland Brown thing to happen for them. So,
no, this is the reason why Baker's not there, because they keep trying to make David Njoku the focus of their offense, and even though he's built like Tarzan. Let's just say he doesn't play up to the Tarzan moniker, because I don't want any special rights groups coming after him to say he played like Jane. I'm just gonna say the dude just don't get it done, man. The dude is like he dropped 2 touchdowns this week,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
everybody kept saying the quarterback. But part of their problem was Cleveland the last couple of years have had some major drops from their receiving core, and especially in Njoku. And I mean that was their problem Sunday, And then the kid took a bad hit. Like that's another one. I don't know what Denver's got going on in the water over there, but they've been taking some crazy hits on people.
Mm-hmm.
That was a terrible one, and I expect the FedEx to go in there to get this guy a fine at least at minimum.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. We're gonna go skip off to our last and final game. I just knew this was the Texans to win, but the visiting Jags, come out on top, 24-21. Midnight Rider, give us a Vegas side of this game real quick.
Well, let's see, 24-21, that's 43. I think I got 48.5 as the over-under. And then the Jags were favored in this ball game. And unfortunately, we all did the same thing. Texans over and the Texans to cover. So that's another situation where Vegas got us. But the funny part about that game was, of course, they were able to line up with the kick late, and the guy just misses the 58-yarder.
Yeah.
And it ain't by much. But it's just something about Houston that they're just around. They do just enough. And I don't know if they're missing somebody on the outside. Well, actually, they got Nico Collins. And that's probably somebody you weren't expecting to be a household name at this point in the season.
No.
Tank Dell has played some good ball. And the problem, I think, really for Texans have been Dameon Pierce and Singletary. They've gotten some production, but they haven't gotten high-level production. Did Pierce even play, if you got the stats up?
He got 5 carries, 14. Singletary, 6 for 18. Stroud had 6 for 47 yards. So
I think that's the part that's holding them back right now. Is their run game and their efficiency in the run game is because they could be in a better spot. And I think that's the only thing holding them back, really. The Jags came out and they did their job.
I was going to say, do you think it's a case where it's just a young team trying to learn how to win? Because I think America sees CJ Stroud, and I think football people see that. Yeah, he doesn't have a back that can take some pressure off of him, but this is a kid that can beat you throwing 50 times if he has to. So, yeah, I mean,
he made a comment. Well, actually, it wasn't him. I can't remember who the analyst was, but it was in the midst of me going through my radio shows, and one of the guys said, the best thing for Stroud was he's always played under center as a QB growing up. And he says the difference is that gives him the timing for the passing game. And some of these guys that have been exclusively shotgun or heavy shotgun, they struggle because they don't understand the rhythm that comes into a play. Like when you're taking your drop, when you get 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth step, boom, you're in the rhythm of getting that ball out. You're in the rhythm of doing your checks and going through your progressions in the whole process. I think it was Mark Schlereth that said it. And I think that's the truth. I think that's key for this kid was he's gone through those type of things and he made this NFL just easy for him. He's way ahead, and then he has the options on the outside to make him look good and look right.
The big guy KG coming in with his comment: Houston is going to be dangerous next season. I agree with you. I don't think this season's over for them. I really don't. It's they got a ways to go, and they can make some noise down the stretch. Though I don't have their schedule in front of me. Yes, I do. Kind of, sort of. They got the Broncos next.
Yep.
They got the Broncos, Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans, Colts. that could be a playoff run right there.
So that's what I was saying earlier. Them and the Colts, they have favorable schedules down the stretch where they can put themselves in a position that you weren't thinking that they were going to be in at the start of the season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
because I know I took the Texans under their win total, but I think I took the Colts over their win total.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Colts schedule. Yeah, you're 100%, man. They could, besides, them playing each other, like that's
right.
easy money right there. So, it is what it is. But I mean, let me ask you a question. Is that for the Jaguars? The Jaguars have to worry about that too, because could the Texans still win the division?
Yes. All right. So yes and no, because the Jags get a majority of that. But I think the Jags played their one-offs. Like, because the Jags won a division, of course they play the first place teams, whatever division, whatever the off division is that they play against. So I think they've had those games already for the most part. And if they don't, more than likely they're getting like Cincinnati or somebody like that. I mean, the Jags aren't playing a much harder schedule. This probably ends up with Tennessee. They probably get Tennessee twice down the stretch.
They got the Bengals next week. They play the Browns. The Browns after that.
Mm-hmm.
They got the Ravens after that.
Okay.
Buccaneers, Panthers, and Titans.
So there's the two one-offs would be the Bengals, because they would have had Burrow. That would have been the first place game. Yep. And then who was the other first place? The Ravens. So those are the two, unless they played the AFC North this year, but I can't remember how the schedule layout is. But that's it. That's the only two games they got to worry about.
It's going to be interesting.
I think they have a lead, right? They're like 9-3, 8-3.
8-3. I think they're 8-3. Yeah, they look. They definitely control their own destiny.
Right. Indianapolis is 6-5. Houston is 6-5.
6-5. Yep.
So, yeah.
Any given Sunday, though, right? Anything can happen down the stretch. Anything, So, but everybody got a chance there. So we'll see. The Jaguars control it, but don't write out the Colts. Definitely don't write out the Texans, because it's getting crowded in the AFC. So, that was our last recap for NFL week number 12. We're gonna move to college.
You went to our predictions?
Oh yeah, give me the predictions.
So I'm gonna start with the safe, because I don't know what it is with you and the safe predictions, but you had CJ Stroud 300 yards and 3 TDs.
I missed it by one.
I think you missed about 1 TD. I think I had Saquon for 100 yards and a TD. I know that didn't happen. AJ Brown, KG had him going for 125 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I think he may have gotten a touchdown, but I don't remember having 125 yards. You might want to verify that for me.
I'm trying to get to it. Hold on a second.
Don't worry about it. On the bold prediction side,
nah, 5 for 37 and a touchdown.
All right, so he got the touchdown, but he didn't get everything else. On the bold prediction side, KG had Hurts going for 400 yards. That didn't happen. I had Jaren Warren going for 102 TDs. That didn't happen. Now, you got a quarterback that says 300 yards, 4 TDs. I just don't remember who the quarterback was.
That was Josh Allen.
There you go.
That was Josh Allen. I'm trying to pull up his stats now. Josh he was 29-51, 339, and 2 touchdowns.
There you go. So you were off by 2 TDs there.
Yeah. Oh, no. I said total TDs.
Oh, okay.
So he had the 4 TDs.
So he had 2
rushing and 2 passing.
There you go. Your bold prediction.
Yep. I had 2 because I was waiting for the other one. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's get to the comment. Paul Cordova. Jags have a 2-game lead and are 4-1 in the division. One of their 3 losses is versus an NFC opponent. Yeah, like I said, they control it down the stretch. They're the more experienced squad. So if you're betting money, you're betting on the Jags. It's theirs to lose. But I think somebody said something about the Bills, and I feel the same way about the Texans. If they get into the playoffs, and you got to play them, it's going to be a tough matchup because they don't have nothing. Yeah, the Texans don't have nothing to lose.
I feel the same way about Pittsburgh. I think if Pittsburgh gets in, I think Pittsburgh's offense finally getting the 400 yards this week.
Yeah,
they haven't had in like 18, some crazy number of games.
59.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I think they're another team that, as long as they can show competent quarterback play, they're gonna make it difficult for somebody.
Speaking of Pittsburgh, did you see that lazy play with Deontay Johnson?
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't in the rundown.
Give me your thoughts on that. If you're Mike Tomlin, what do?
You say all the right things in the press. You say all the right things in the press, and then you take him to like a room, your office or whatever, and you cuss him the hell out, man. Because I think the kid is part of this is pouting because I don't think he's having the season he think he should have. And the other part of it is just immaturity. And we talked about that. Well, you hear it a lot in Washington when they talk about their team. They talk about the maturity
level, buddies.
The maturity level of old number 99. And I think this is a situation where you gotta worry about the maturity level of Deontay Johnson. I've got comments on Deontay Johnson from my boy that's a Steelers fan. And even though we not a syndicated TV show, I know I can't say some of these comments on the show. Yeah, I mean, he's just like the guy for the last 2 years, maybe the last 3 years. But it's just something about this kid that I think he's in that, like, he's the Antonio Brown part of it where he's starting to feel that fame and he hasn't gotten there yet. In the words of KG, he hasn't arrived. That's the best way for me to put that.
Get to some comments real quick. Matthew Caitlin, playoffs? We talking playoffs? Big guy KG come up. Cut him. Can't win with him. Can't coach him. Can't play with him.
The old Mike Singletary.
Man, look, I saw that and I just thought in my head, where does Mike Tomlin and this franchise where they represent the Steel City, blue collar work, where do they keep finding these guys at? Because if you notice, he follows the pattern of Chase Claypool and Juju, where they think that they're this top 3 diva receiver. And unfortunately for Deontay Johnson, the only reason why we know his name is because we're football people.
Right.
Like, he hasn't done anything. Like, to be like, man, that kid right there, like, but just to have that effort on the field, I would drop him on the roster, man. Like, he wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out. He wouldn't get no play time. If you think, you think you're not getting what you think that you're supposed to be getting, you're definitely not going to get the next couple games because you're not playing.
Right.
Or you're just going to be running routes. One of the other, you be running routes and but they don't, KG. That's the thing. KG said they should know that you are replaceable in Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh has always been linebacker. You has become a receiver you now because I mean they have talented receivers. They're just finding these guys that are just absolute divas. So
they find the guys that A, fit what they do, and B, it doesn't hurt when your coach is an old wide receiver also.
Absolutely.
So some of that, even though you get a wide receiver coach, some of that you get from your coach as well. So I think that's where they make out in the long run.
Big guy says, ask Plax, AB, Juju, and Mike Wallace.
Yeah,
all good examples.
Yeah, Pittsburgh isn't scared to move on from people either.
No, they're not. Absolutely not.
I wish Absolutely was that way.
I wish a lot of squads were that way. Stop holding on to these guys. Let them go. Let them go find sunshine somewhere else. Because Chase Claypool was rotting in right. Chicago. He thought he was gonna go over there and beat a man, and then Juju and New England. Like, yeah, you're not who you thought you were, huh?
Exactly.
Anyway. Moving on, we are going to switch gears and we're going to go down a rank to the college football. AP poll was just putting up the top 6. I'm going to let Midnight Rider kind of dive into this. I'll read it off. Number 1, Georgia Bulldogs. Number 2, the Michigan Wolverines. Number 3, the Washington Huskies. 4, Florida State Seminoles. 5, Oregon Ducks. And to finish out the top 6, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Midnight Rider, you like this list? Would you move anybody around? Anybody deserve to be in the top 6 that's not in the top 6?
No, actually, they got it right. And then the funny thing about it, I put the top 8 in my phone before the list came out, and I just sat there. And as I would just push a button as like they got to certain points because I kind of figured how they were going to let this play out. One thing college football is smart about the regents or the guys that are in charge is as long as chaos doesn't happen, they've got a plan. So the plan is Georgia and Michigan should win their matchups this weekend. And as long as that happens, everything else falls into place. Because you figure Oregon and Washington, that's a playoff game. It's a conference championship game, but technically it's a playoff game because the winner of that secures their spot for the playoffs. All right. And then with Florida State at 4, the reason you put them at 4 is if Florida State loses to Louisville, whoever replaces them doesn't have to jump over any other teams. Like you're not taking Florida State from 3, pushing them down to 6, and then pushing 2 teams. If that makes sense. Like it's literally a natural, they just fall off the ledge type of situation. And then that automatically puts Ohio State in line because I think Ohio State's probably the next best one-win team. After Ohio State, I think it's Texas and Alabama. But you figure if Alabama loses to Georgia, they're a 2-loss team now. So some of this kind of like plays out the way they want. The only problem is Texas could be playing the maid of honor in this situation, and they could get up to 5 and just be out of the final 4 teams in the playoffs. Because I don't see a way for Texas to get, with 1 loss, I don't see a way for them to get into this top 4. Unless we have like everything just go to hell. Like Michigan would have to lose to Iowa. Notre Dame's like 17. Calm down, KG. I know. But yeah, so Michigan would have to lose to like Iowa. Georgia would have to lose embarrassingly to Atlanta. Okay. So Paul says FSU may have the best defense in the Final Four if this stays the same and fuck Ohio State. Like I said, Paul, if y'all win, you're in. I don't see any way they can not let you have you at 4. And I think this is part of the reason they had you at 4. Because if you win, you're in, and nothing else changes but the Oregon and Washington winner. Like that's what they want. They've set this up for the way they want it. They want Oregon and Washington to take care of each other, and if Florida State wins, then you're set. And if Florida State loses, then you pull the next team up. And I think that's the only way Ohio State gets back into the mix. But then I think we may have a change again because I don't know if you want. Well, actually, no, you would get Georgia, Ohio State. So yeah, it'll be fine. I'm sorry, I'm doing thought process on the bottom because I can see Georgia at 1. You don't want Michigan versus Ohio State part 2.
No,
so
absolutely no.
So yeah, and I think honestly, I think Michigan's one of the more physical teams, but I think they're going to struggle against a team like Georgia, and I think they may struggle with the Oregon Washington winner.
Why?
Because I think the Oregon Washington winner, even though that conference doesn't play defense, and that's where Michigan will have the advantage, but their offense is so explosive. Like let's take Washington off the top. Washington has 2 wide receivers. They have Michael Penix Jr., who I have as like our number 1 receiver on the list. You have 2 wide receivers that are both going to be first-round picks on this offense, and they've got a solid running game. So Washington is going to be more explosive than anybody Michigan has played all season long. Same thing with Oregon. Oregon's got Bo Nix, who's probably in his 18th year of college. He's probably got a kid next year that's coming to college while he's graduating to leave college. That's how long it seems like he's been in college. But yeah, so I think Oregon's just as explosive as Washington, and I think that's going to create an issue for Michigan. Like, this is a game Michigan will have to come out and dominate the football.
Control, ground defense, and that's something I had touched on. That's why I asked you why. That's something I had touched on when we talked a little college football this past Sunday. Those offenses,
Right.
always when they get to them top tier offenses, that's where Michigan and Ohio States, they struggle just a little bit trying to keep up with these guys because
they haven't seen it.
They're black and blue. They beating each other up. Now all of a sudden you got this kid that run track running past you that do run a 4.3, but you got three of them. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, and you're like, when they gonna run the ball? We need them to run the ball. They're not running the ball. Hold on, they're coming out with 5 receivers. Oh, no. So it's gonna be interesting down the stretch. I think it's gonna be exciting.
I think if you're the committee, you just want everything to stay status quo. Let Washington, Oregon figure it out. Let Florida State win against Louisville, and then you go off into the sunset. And next year you get ready for the 12-team format.
All right, and the Pac-2.
Oh, the Pac-2 for sure. That's. But you know how that even came about, right?
Talk to me.
So the reason, USC, Oregon, and most of the other schools were okay because they had put into place, or they thought they were putting into place, a TV deal. And the TV deal, they were offered like 25 or 30. I forget the numbers, so let's not worry about the numbers. But they were offered a pretty good TV deal. Whoever the commissioner was bucked at the number that they were getting and thought he could shop it and get more money. The second he went to go shop it, he didn't get what he thought he was going to get. And he couldn't go back to get what he had on the table before. So that's when USC, Oregon, all those places start looking for something else. Now, if you look at the SEC, the Big Ten, they got these big-time TV deals. So that's what they latched on to. Big-time TV deal. Boom, we make 30, 40. We're making more money now than we were going to make on the Pac-12 deal. But they'd have been comfortable what they were getting from the Pac-12 original deal. They wouldn't have left.
Comments real quick. Paul Cordova. If FSU loses to Louisville, who just lost to Kentucky, they don't deserve to be in. And our boy Lee Ice. What's up, Lee Ice? Says, what's up, my brother? If Alabama beats Georgia, could they get into the playoffs?
That's the argument we had tonight, or they've had tonight. I think Georgia's one of the best teams in the country. I don't see them falling from 1 to 5. Like, I think they should be 4. Like, even if they lose, they've been so dominant this year. I don't see a way for Alabama to win their way into it, especially with them being placed at 7. And I think that was the whole key to them placing them like 7 or 8, because they felt like it was going to be too much for them to get into the next round or into the Final Four.
The big guy KG, you confusing me, man. Are you a Michigan fan or you are Notre Dame? He says with Harbaugh back, Michigan wins it all. Maybe. Look, let me get that off the screen. Let me get that off the screen. Excellent breakdown by the Midnight Rider. We are going to switch gears and we're going to finish out the show. We're going to touch this because we're going to have to say this for maybe the Thursday show, but we talked about.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Normally on Tuesdays we do the list, but I want to hold off on this week's list to after. Actually, no, the Heisman comes out this week, so I'm gonna do it Thursday.
Okay, Thursday.
We're doing a list.
So we're gonna do the list Thursday. You hear that, big guy? We're doing the list Thursday. Put your notebook out.
And if we can't,
Notre Dame throwing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think you're at home burning your Notre Dame stuff and you're putting your Wolverine stuff. Just like a lot of bandwagon, runners. But I know smart money. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. If that's
And
what
for some reason, if I can't come on with you guys Thursday because of work, I'll send you guys the list.
That'll work.
So y'all can do it. Y'all can do that.
Yeah, that'll work. We're gonna talk about that off air because we got some options.
Okay.
We got some options. Real quick, and then we got to get out of here. We talked about the Washington Wizards getting Jordan Poole and how this could maybe try to get this franchise, not turn it around, but get it on the right direction going up. And it has been anything but that. And this has turned into a complete disaster where now you had Bradley Beal walking around like he's won 5 championships, acting like it. Now you have Jordan Poole here, and you would think this kid, like, yeah, you won some championships, but not here. And I'm just super disappointed because the mentality of these players, like, you have a chance to, a franchise is basically saying, here, turn us around. This can be yours. This city could be yours. We talk about this all the time, and to nauseum. This city could be yours. They're dying for a winner. If you change this around, you're going to be swimming in mumbo sauce, go, the whole 9 yards. You can go to FedEx Field. If you got a fetish, just stand in the right section. You have some sewer water on you. Like, it just depends on what you want. I'm just saying, this depends on what you want to do. But it's been anything but that. Real quick on the comments, F. Jordan Poole, he fucked up my money. He think he made it, but he hasn't arrived. The big guy, K, we're gonna make a.
That's his segment.
That's his segment. You haven't arrived. That's your new segment. So get your stuff ready. We gonna put that together. Midnight Rider. Midnight Rider.
Do it once a month. We gotta have a "You Haven't Arrived" segment for him.
We have to, absolutely. And you got to give us all of it. You got to give us NBA, NFL, NHL, baseball, maybe some music. Artists think they arrived. He hasn't arrived. I want all of it. Midnight Rider, but real quick, the Wizards. What do they do?
Well, kids messing up the plan. The plan was for this kid to come in, show off his skills, average 23 to 24 a night.
Sewer eat sewer. Oh, sewer eat water. He said water. I meant
sewer water. But nah, I mean, this is the perfect example of a guy coming into a place having some fame, and KG stole the thunder because I was gonna say he acted like he's arrived. I don't know if you saw the clip where KG and Paul Pierce are talking about him, and KG like going off like, dude, that's not how you treat the game. And I think the problem that Poole has always had is he's been very immature. He feels like he's a better player than he is. You would think that he carried Steph and Clay to those championships, those 2 years.
On his back.
Yes.
On his back with a ruptured Achilles. I got y'all.
He put them two and the yacht on his back to climb a mountain. And it's crazy that he does that, but the kid just isn't ready for it. And the problem he's gonna have is West Jr. gonna get West Jr. fired, KG.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. West this is part of the Wizards culture, and he got to take some blame for that. In particular, the huddle that everybody's seen. Well, he's not even paying. That's when you got to address that right there. If the rest of the team sees you're not addressing that with him, it's downhill from there. And who was that talked about that the end of the season? Was that Kispert with those comments?
Yeah, it was Kispert's comments.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And yeah. Now he gonna hasten it. Is that what you meant to write?
Yeah, he's going to hasten the process because I think the process he's talking about is West getting fired. I think he knows West is going to be gone soon I think he's just saying that Jordan Poole will.
You might. It's gonna be. It ain't gonna be like top 10. It's gonna be protected and all this with chains on it and chastity belt. That's gonna be your first.
That's the problem. I'm glad you guys are walking right into like everything I was gonna say. This is funny. Y'all being like Sherman Douglas, and I guess I get to be Stevie Thompson from back in the days in the 80s with Syracuse basketball. But yeah, that's it. It's like he's making it hard for them to do what they want to do. They want to move him and flip him for something else. They want to turn a profit off of him. I think the guy that they like now, and he's starting to show it. I think Kyle Kuzma is becoming kind of the guy that they'll keep here in the long run and just let him go along with the process and be part of the process. I would say that first, if you ask me this in the preseason, I'd have said move both of them for some products. But I think right now you gotta keep Kuzma to show fans that you're serious about at least being competitive this year. But
hold on. No. There is nothing you can do right now to show Wizards fan. I wish Oop was on here. To show Wizards fan you're serious about winning this year. It's nothing you can do.
I'm not saying you serious about winning. I said just being competitive. You want to still get the fans.
I'm sorry, yeah. No, it's over. It's over. I almost the big guy saying send his dumb ass to the YMCA for a washing machine then and call Kofi Black and Jackie Moon. Here's the thing. I think the Wizards are going to be in a position where they're going to have to package Kuzma to get rid of Poole. I think it's that bad. But here's the thing, and I've said this since we started this show in 2017. And the trade then was like, oh, nobody's going to take Otto Porter's contract from DC. And I always say, yes, there will be somebody always to take these contracts. But here's where Jordan Poole's situation is a little unique. If he's put on the right team with the right people, he's not acting like that. If he goes to LA, the Lakers, he's not acting like that in front of LeBron James. If he goes to Miami, he's not doing that with Jimmy Butler. If you get him on a contending team where the pieces are right, and it's sad we say this, we say this about the Washington teams all the time, where you have structure and you have goals. It's like, Chase Young going to the 49ers and wake up call like, oh man, I got to practice now. Shit. We don't just lounge around here for 4 hours and do nothing. So, that's Chase Young's reality now. But yeah, they're going to have to move him. It's just, it is what it is, man. It's unfortunate because I thought, with him and Kuzma here that, they could scrap and fight and, you could see a competitive team. You could see a team that was trying to work their way into the playing game, but it's just not.
You don't want that. Hold on. All the last 2 years, you've told me you want to blow it up. Y'all want to get to a spot where and this is them blowing it up. So you're not trying to be in the spot to win 34, 35 ball games. You want to hit whatever your season total under is. You want to hit that under comfortably. Put yourself in position to have the high pick. Hopefully the lottery balls fall your way and you end up in the top 3 somewhere or the top 4, and you get another piece to add to this process. That is the process.
Is the pro? Unfortunately, Lee Ice is right. Like we were rooting for him. That of course, everybody know what his dad did, but just rooting for him. But it's just like, if you can't control your huddle,
right?
We're not even seeing practice. We're not even seeing what's going on in practice and everything else. You can't control your huddle. This team is already a broken piece. And I guess what I'm saying about trying to be competitive is kind of like what I said about the Texans. It's just like, they're young. You want to see them scrap. You want to see the potential. You want to see them take the top 8 teams. Like they beat Detroit. Who cares? Detroit is right under them at the bottom. Yeah, you were wrong. He was a legacy hire. You were wrong. I take the heat for it.
He wasn't a legacy hire. We keep acting like we're acting like management was going to go out and actually get a coach. And I said this, whatever tapes we have, whatever show I was on, I don't know if I was on regularly with y'all, but I know I've said all along that West was going to be a hire because Ted likes to go cheap when it comes to coaches. He had already tried to pay his coach or two, and it didn't work out. So now he's back to the cheap guy. He went to the cheap guy, and West was the top of the line, supposedly, of the cheap guys. And that's what he got. He knew what he was doing. I mean, it's nice that the story tags along that West is his dad. But if his name was Roscoe Jenkins and he was the top assistant, he was getting his job. It had nothing to do with the unsold name. He
at
just
least
wanted to get money.
At least they have nice new uniforms. You're right, Lee Ice. Hi, Hubie Brown, but oh my God. Oh my God.
What are we doing?
Or Larry Brown.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. You look, go get your 8mm film and you show tape. You need to be at practice showing them tape so they can progress a little bit. So
Hubie Brown can't even make it through a broadcast without peeing on himself. You like Hubie as your coach. I have him out there 82 nights. Jesus.
What we got? Better than what you got. I mean, you lobby for West Unseld. You lobby for him, so we're gonna hold you to the fire for that. We're gonna hold you to the fire for that. I think that's about wrapping us up, ladies and gentlemen.
So so next, if Hubie Brown's the coach, next year on that little collar of their shirt, it's gonna be a Depend sign because that's.
Oh
you know, every team got a sponsor. They're gonna be sponsored by Depends.
The second quarter, he gonna be gone here to go take his medicine, use the bathroom.
Yeah, hey, he gotta take his iron medicine and pee on himself again. You gotta change his pants.
James King say Mark Jackson. Oh, I wish you hadn't said. I wish you hadn't said that name. Big guy KG, we gotta go. Don't even start. Don't even start. Mark Jackson. Yeah,
That's a pin.
Yeah,
that's a pin.
Yeah, let's pin that. Let's one more comment. He said that ship is sailed. Okay, KG. All right. Well, that is Tuesday Night Flight. We are the Sideline Junkies. That's the Midnight Ride. I'm the big guy. I'm not the big guy. The big guy's on assignment. I'm the boss. That's the 42-year-old mind working. I'm supposed to have been in the bed 43 minutes ago. No. We good. I'll make it up. I'll make it up when I'm driving to work trying to dodge telephone poles. So I know. But that's all we got for night. Shout out, like always, to Clear Productions, Lee Ice. Everybody in the comments, Paul, who am I missing? Matt, appreciate you guys. Of course, the big guy, and I'm trying to go through and make sure I got everybody. Yeah, Matt, Paul, appreciate it. Appreciate everybody else that's watching all across, and we will see you Thursday night.
I think KG's coming on tomorrow for the Josh Giddey special. I think he's doing that. I don't know if he's doing a video drop. Or if he's doing a StreamYard for that.
I think he might be doing a video drop, like a reel for that. I think.
Okay.
So, okay. But that's it. Yeah, that's it. Hit us up. We'll be looking. We were supposed to have a guest, but we gotta get that together. So
that's my bad.
No, man. No, we gonna trust me. We got it.
All right, cool, man.
All right, man. Y'all be easy. Be safe. We'll see y'all Thursday.